Okay, let's start looking at our first technical drawing. I'm going to go to my Chrome browser here so I can show you the kind of the basic sheet layout. We're going to create a foundation plan so that we can dimension it, a first floor plan, add a few dimensions to it, and then a couple of elevations on that sheet. So we also have to figure out how to get a sheet up onto our Revit document. So let's go back to Revit, and I'm going to go over to Sheets. And right over Sheets, I'm going to right click and make a new sheet. And we're going to go to select the E1. That one should be available to you. If not, you can go to Load, and that should take you, let me try to show you where this is in the whole scheme of things. Window, Program Data, Autodesk, Revit 2022, Libraries, English Imperial. If Program Data is not showing, I can show you how to make that visible. And I'll do that now. It'll be a slight detour and we'll come back to it. So I'm just going to cancel out of this. I'm going to select this right away so this menu dialog box is gone. And then I'm going to, just for a minute, go out to the C drive of my computer and show you this idea of program data and how it's visible and how it may not be on yours. If I go to View and this Hidden Items is turned off, you won't see program data. This view has to have it turned on. Once you're there, you can navigate into program data and go to Autodesk and actually physically see where your files are stored. Like, for instance, all the family templates in our English Imperial, and there's all of the title blocks that are available to us. So sorry for the little detour, but that might help some people who are having problems finding these, any kind of family element. So here we have that now. We have a new sheet 105, unnamed. And we can leave it that way for now. What I want to do is just edit this. I'm going to just double click into it and get rid of that Autodesk logo up there. And you could actually replace it with anything you wanted to. And we'll load that back into the project and overwrite the existing version. And I'm going to just turn this one off now and not save it. So we don't really need to modify the original one. Okay, so now we have our sheet up, our technical sheet. And, first thing we want to do is, let's say, put level 1 on our first floor. So I'll drag that on. We've got a lot more information than we maybe want. So I'm going to go ahead and, as usual, get rid of these elevation markers. Deactivate the view. Delete it and drag it back on again. And put it down here in the bottom. And now we need a foundation plan. And obviously level 1 is, we don't really have a foundation plan. We don't have anything at that lower level. That's the lowest we go. So I'm going to show you how we're going to go ahead and create one. So we're going to do two things. I'm going to go to the south elevation. This drawing we're already using, and I don't want to modify it, but I wanted to have an elevation to go on our drawing, a technical one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this south elevation. I'm going to right click on it and I'm going to duplicate that view. And not with detailing, just make a duplicate of it. And I'll just click on this and rename it. I'll call it elevation. And I'm really kind of stepping back out of all the things that we did to change this. I'm going to turn on the light bulb here, and we can see all of the items that we've hidden. So I'll right click on these, and I'll go unhide and view by category. Unhide and view by category. So these are all showing up again. And I'll turn this off, and now those will show up on our screen. And we'll go back to a view that's proper for technical drawing. As a matter of fact, for these elevations, there's a view template that we could use. And we can just click on architectural elevation and click OK, and that will apply the characteristics for us. So we want something down here as a level that we can put on our drawing so we can see the exact foundation layout. So I'm going to go to architecture and create a new level. And just draw it out. And it won't allow me to click to the bottom of the footer, just to the top. And I'll show you what that issue is. We'll go back now to the sheet. And I'll drag that new one that we just made, top of glazing 5, it just automatically labeled it. And you see we're seeing the outline of the foundation walls, but we're not seeing any of the footing. So I'm going to go back to that one. I don't want to go that way. Actually, I just close that. I want to go back to my elevation. I'm sorry. Go back to my south elevation, which I already have up. And we'll call this footers. And we'll correspondingly rename the views. And we want it at the bottom because we're not seeing anything in a plan view that goes below, only things that go up. And so we're going to change this to a -5, and that'll take us right to the bottom of it. And then we will go back to our sheet, and now we have appearing our footers going around our foundation. So once again, we'll clean this drawing up a bit. We'll get rid of these elevation markers, hide and view by category, deactivate the view, and go ahead and delete it. And drag it back on the screen again. And I'm waiting until I get that blue dotted line indicating that one is perfectly aligned over the other one. And now we just have a couple of more drawings to pull on. So I'm going to grab the south elevation and pull that onto the sheet. And that looks pretty good. And I'll grab, let's say, the west elevation and drag it onto the sheet up here. And it's a little clunky right now, so let's go ahead and make some changes to it. So I'll just select these and pull these lines back a bit. That's probably all we need to do. So I'll deactivate the view and delete it, and then drag it back on again. And the only other thing that's bothering me is this, these site markers, or this site information. So I'm just going to hide this stuff in view. So that's the project base marker, hide in view element, and then this is a survey point, hide in view element. Whoops, I must have missed something there. Let's try that again. Oops. Well, I'm going to do undo because I don't know what I hid. And just excuse me a minute, I was clicking a lot and not paying good attention. Got both of those selected, and maybe now I can hide in view by elements. And they're gone, and deactivate that view. And then ZE for zoom extents. Oh, it hates to do that sometimes. There we go, I canceled out. And now, so that's a good start for our drawing, our first technical sheet, the floor plans and the elevations. Just note that this is a large sheet of paper, but these foundation plans and floor plans, they all should typically be at least 1/4 inch to a foot. And these are all, if you were to select these are all at 1/8 inch to a foot. And what I've done is I've really crammed a bunch of drawings onto a sheet that in professional presentations of technical drawings, they wouldn't all exist on this sheet. These would be spread out over multiple sheets. But this gives us an easier way to submit them, an easier way for me to look and grade them quickly. And be prepared that when you get to construction tech, these are going to be different scales and over a bunch of different sheets. So we'll look at adding some dimensions next.